is Tim from Guy on the Camera, and today I want to talk to you guys about something that a lot of you may be going through right now. As you know, or you may not know, I'm a rising junior, and what that means for me is that it's time for me to start the college process. And for many of you, it may be time to do the same, or maybe you're a little bit behind, and maybe this video can help you catch up. So now I just want to pose this question at the beginning of the video, and then at the end of the video, you can answer for yourself. And the question is, can you be recruited? So now that I just want you to think about that as the video goes by, and think of, if there's anything you need to do, maybe from this list or anything else that you can think of. So now let's start with, what schools are you looking at? Is it a D1, a D2, a D3? Now this is an important step to take because there are different requirements that need to be met for each different school. There's different things that need to be done. But for now we're just going to start with D1 and D2. If you are looking at a D1 and D2 school, did you know that you have to be enrolled in the NCAA Eligibility Center? Basically what that means is that your grades will be sent to the NCAA, and they'll be checked off and basically make sure that you have all the requirements present in order to, pass through and be eligible to receive a scholarship to play sports. If you are not enrolled in the Eligibility Center, it's never too late. Just go to ncaa.org and you can find it there. Now the things you should know about your actual eligibility. You need 16 core classes in order to be eligible. You must maintain a 2.3 GPA, which has actually been raised. It used to be 2.0, now it's 2.3. And also you need to know when each class needs to be completed and what classes you need to take. There are certain classes or certain types of classes that you absolutely must have, and there's a point when you must have them completed by. Make sure you know this so you can plan for the next 2 years, 3 years, however many years in high school you have left. Now that you have your classes kind of squared away, it's time to look at our standardized tests, which no one likes, but they are a necessary evil. There are two options you have now, ACT and SAT. Both have different scoring rubrics, but both also have sliding scales, which I'll talk about in a couple minutes. But it's important that you take your SAT and ACT. It's important that you prep for SAT and ACT, and it's also important that you understand what your SAT or ACT needs to be for your individual school. Now for the NCAA, there is something called a sliding scale, which I just mentioned earlier. A sliding scale basically means that you have your GPA and your SAT/ACT score. The higher your GPA goes, the lower your required SAT or ACT score needs to be. So it really helps. I think the highest classification is 3.55 or above. So it would really help to have a 3.55 or above, because then you only need a composite math and verbal, I think 900 on the SAT, something like that. And now that you know that now that you're NCAA eligible, you also need to make sure that you're eligible for your school that you're looking for. Just because you're NCAA eligible doesn't mean that you're going to be eligible for the school that you wish to attend. If you're looking at an Ivy League school or a higher end school, your SAT and ACT is going to need to be much higher than the actual NCAA requirement. So make sure you do a little research on that before you take your test, so you can have something to shoot for. And also this is also important to know your scores on these, and know your GPA and know your SAT and ACT, because before coach really starts to talk to you about, possible recruitment, or even shows major interest in you, one of the first questions he will ask you is, what is your GPA, what is your SAT, ACT, or PSAT, depending on what level you're at. Before he can offer you a scholarship, he has to know those things, and you also have to be cleared through the clearinghouse, or the eligibility center, in order for you to do that. Again, visit ncaa.org to get cleared from that. And now I'm going to talk about researching schools just a little bit. You just have to make sure when you're looking at schools, you know the required SAT and ACT. I'm going to say it again because I said it before, but it's important that you know the SAT or ACT for that school so you do have something to shoot for. I can't stress that enough. Now, along with the NCAA Eligibility Center, there is another eligibility center called the NAIA Eligibility Center. It's the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics. Basically, it's for smaller schools, D3s most of the time. But if that's what you're looking for, you're going to want to get enrolled in this too. Keep your options open. Just a little bit about the NAIA. A lot of people don't know about it, but there's 22 member conferences. Some examples are CalPAC, the AAC, and the AMC. Some of the schools that are in are Aquinas, Dillard, Embry-Riddle, Johnson and Wales, Loyola, Marymount, and Texas A&M. If you've ever heard of those schools, you'll know that you now know that they're in the NAIA. And if you want to attend any of those schools, you have to make sure that you're in the NAIA Eligibility Center. And one more thing before I wrap this video up. If your school offers a college search engine search app or anything that is like online that can help you find colleges, use it, please. They are a lifesaver. They make it so much easier to find schools. I just know the app that my school gives out is called Naviance. I will talk about it in a later video, but basically it's like a giant search engine for schools. Start using that. It makes it a lot easier to search for schools that you may be interested in. It brings them up all in a nice, neat list, and then you can just add them to a list of schools that you're interested in. You can even add them to different lists, such as schools that I'm going to be applying to, and it shows you a whole bunch of useful information. So if your school offers any of those services, I would recommend that you utilize them. That's about it for the end of this video. There will be more videos about this topic of the college process coming up very soon. Make sure you subscribe to keep up on them. Follow me on social media. Links will be in the description. Like the video, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff.